Hello, welcome to this Modurol video. In this video we're going to look at the detailed lengths of the certain items being used on a manual transmission swap. In particular, this Jaguar XK8 1996, the 4-litre version utilising the ZF5HP24 automatic gearbox. Removing that and using the S-type S6-53 6-speed gearbox out of an S-type 2.7 litre diesel. I'm going to show you some slides now which demonstrate the differences in the particular gearbox and prop shaft setup for the different models, and also that I need for my manual transmission and why that all makes sense. The first slide then is of my Jaguar XK8. So here we have the 5HP24 transmission and this single piece drive shaft. So the transmission is 27 inches long, the drive shaft 52, and there's a Jurid coupling that takes up another 1.25 inches. So the overall drivetrain, gearbox and drive shaft, the gap between the engine and the diff is 80.25 inches, and I actually measured that with a tape, so it's all approximate measurements. Okay, so I'm under the car and I'm trying to measure the distance from the diff. I can get the tape on that. Get the tape on the diff. Yeah, just about there, somewhere in there, and then measure it at the gearbox end. I'm getting about 80.25 inches. I'll also just show you how we measured the length of the gearbox. So we've basically bolted a tire iron, it's quite a straight edge, to the back of the output of the gearbox. I've then got my tape pushing against it roughly level and getting the measurement that way. So there you go. 27 inches, near as damn it. When Jaguar moved then to the XKR, they used the Mercedes transmission. This was back in 1998 through to up to 2003 in the 4.2 litre cars. They used a Mercedes 722.6 5-speed auto. That automatic was actually substantially shorter. It was only 22.75 inches long. So they needed a longer prop, 56.25 inch long prop. That's not this one, a similar one, together with that support bearing. Then when Jaguar changed their transmission again with the 4.2 litre cars, they went to a ZF 6-speed gearbox, the 6HP26, and that gearbox is 25 inches long. So again, they needed a different length prop shaft, so they have a slightly different twin or two-piece prop to suit that. All to take up this distance at 84.25. So they've, every time the transmission length changed, the prop shaft changed too. Now, so why am I changing then from my single prop on my XK8 to the 4.2 litre prop? Well, it's actually down to the fact that this 6HP26 transmission, the length of that is identical on the ZF S6-53 gearbox at 25 inches. So in order to make this 80.25 inch driveline, with the X6-53, you can actually use the 4.2 litre two-piece drive shaft to make that distance up correctly. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. One of the complexities I have had to address with moving from the one-piece or a single-piece 4-litre prop to the 4.2 litre twin-piece is this support bearing and actually how it's bolted up. So on the early 4-litre cars, the actual handbrake plate or mount is actually only about this big. You'll have seen it in the video, you'll have seen it in the video of me removing it. It's only a very short piece, but the Jaguar created this massive longer plate in order to mount the prop shaft bearing. The other thing that's worth mentioning as far as lengths go, so the length from the diff to the middle of this support bearing is 2 feet or 24 inches. That's the length to mount the support bearing. Both types of drive shaft have an element of adjustability. You can see here there's a portion of the single piece drive shaft that's telescopic. This will move out about 2.5 inches. Similarly, on the two-piece drive shaft, there's this splined area. Just take that cover off. Now this again is adjustable up to 2.5 inches. The specification of the spline used on the two-piece, on the 4.2 litre car anyway, is a 26 spline with this wider master spline, and the diameter is about 1 1/8 or 28 millimeters in diameter. So that measures roughly 2.5 inches of extension from outside of the cover. Obviously the minimum extension, this is pushed all the way up. Let me just do that a second. There you go. So I think the maximum travel is 2.5 inches. In theory, this drive shaft needs to be 54 inches long. So I've set the length to 54 inches. And let's have a measure what we have left in the middle. 1.25 inches. Okay, that may all make sense. So the total travel was 2.5 inch. And it's going to run on average at a midpoint. So there you go. That's it for that video. I hope you found that interesting. Sorry it got a little bit techie. The reasons we got into all the lengths was a fellow enthusiast, Stuart Connell, is converting his 308 XJR together with the ZF S6-53 gearbox, and he was after the correct length prop shaft and whether there's anything off the shelf within the Jaguar library of prop shafts that he could use. Unfortunately, I don't think that's the case, but hopefully as his project develops I'll be able to share more details about it. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I'm going to crack on with a bit more of our conversion, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.